The uninvited guest, the Galactic Council chamber, floated in the darkness of space like a monument to peace. The station was enormous, built over 3 centuries by 42 different species working together. Its walls were made of crystallized energy, allowing those inside to see the stars beyond. In the center of the Grand Hall, representatives from every member species sat in their designated areas, each space designed for their specific needs. Council Speaker Tarveen stood at the main podium. He was a Kalesh, a species known for their wisdom and patience. His tall frame was covered in silver fur, and his 3 eyes could see more colors than most species could imagine. Today, those eyes showed concern as he addressed the assembly. Members of the council, Tarveen began, his voice carrying through the translation network that turned his words into every language present. We have gathered for an emergency session. For the past 6 months, 17 of our outer colonies have gone silent. No distress calls, no warnings, just silence. A wave of worried sounds filled the chamber. Representatives whispered to each other in dozens of languages. The attacks had everyone frightened. Whatever was destroying these colonies left nothing behind. No survivors, no clues, just empty worlds stripped of all technology and resources. Commander Jairus of the Kelton Defense Fleet stood to speak. The Kelton were a warrior species, though they preferred peace. Jairus's blue scales reflected the starlight as he addressed the council. We have sent investigation teams to 12 of the affected worlds. What we found disturbs us greatly. The colonies were not destroyed by weapons we recognize. The technology was removed carefully as if harvested. The population simply vanished. Harvested? Another representative asked. She was a plenari, a species that resembled aquatic mammals. You mean taken? We do not know, Jairus admitted. But whatever took them knew exactly what they wanted. They left buildings standing but took every piece of advanced technology. Our scientists believe the attackers have capabilities beyond anything we have encountered. Tarveen was about to respond when every alarm in the station began screaming. Red lights flashed throughout the chamber. The peaceful meeting erupted into chaos as representatives jumped from their seats, some heading for exits while others demanded answers. Unknown vessels approaching, the station's artificial intelligence announced in a calm voice that contrasted sharply with the panic below. Configuration does not match any known species. They are not responding to hailing frequencies. Battle stations, Jairus commanded, his military training taking over. Deploy the defense fleet. On the holographic display above the podium, everyone could see the approaching ships. There were 5 of them, sleek and dark, moving with purpose toward the council station. They were smaller than most council vessels but moved with an efficiency that suggested advanced propulsion systems. Then, something unexpected happened. The lead ship transmitted a message in perfect council standard language. Galactic Council, this is Ambassador Marcus Reeve of the Terran Sovereignty. We come in peace and request immediate audience with your leadership. This is a matter of urgent importance concerning the attacks on your colonies. The chamber fell silent. Terran? No one had heard of this species. And how did they know about the attacks? Tarveen quickly composed himself. Unknown vessels, this is Council Speaker Tarveen. You have entered our space without authorization and without prior contact. Explain yourselves immediately. Speaker Tarveen, the voice responded, and now they could see the face on the screen. The being was bipedal, with forward-facing eyes, hair on its head, and smooth skin. We apologize for the dramatic entrance, but time is critical. The species attacking your colonies, you call them the unknown enemy. We know them well. We call them the Shroud, and we have been hunting them for 40 years. The revelation hit the council like a physical blow. This unknown species, these Terrans, claim to know their enemy. This is impossible, Jairus said, though his voice lacked conviction. We have the most advanced sensor networks in the galaxy. We would have detected your civilization. Marcus Reeve smiled, though it was not entirely friendly. Commander, you detected what we wanted you to detect. The Terran Sovereignty has been operating in this region of space for 4 decades. We have colonies on 16 worlds within your borders. We have been tracking the Shroud through your territory for years, and we have been protecting your outer settlements from attacks you never even knew about. Lies, someone shouted from the assembly. Impossible. Is it? Marcus asked. He gestured, and his ship transmitted data to the council's systems. Holographic displays filled the chamber, showing images and recordings. There were human settlements on worlds the council thought were uninhabited. There were records of battles fought in deep space, human vessels engaging strange organic-looking ships. There were logs dating back 40 years, tracking the movement of the shroud through dozens of systems. Tarveen studied the data with growing disbelief. If this was real and it appeared to be, then everything the council thought they knew was wrong. Why, he asked simply. Why hide from us? Why not make contact? Marcus's expression grew serious. Because 40 years ago, when we first encountered the shroud, we learned a hard lesson. They had already infiltrated 3 civilizations before attacking. They studied their targets, learned their weaknesses, and then struck without warning. We decided that if we were going to hunt them, we needed to stay hidden. Not just from the shroud, but from everyone. He paused, letting that sink in. We have been watching the council for 4 decades. We have learned your languages, studied your cultures, and monitored your technology. We stayed hidden because we did not know if we could trust you. But now the situation has changed. The shroud are gathering for something big, and you need our help. Commander Jerry stepped forward, his warrior instincts making him cautious. You expect us to believe that your species, one we have never heard of, has been operating in our space without our knowledge? That you have technology superior to ours? That you have been fighting an enemy we cannot even identify? I do not expect you to believe anything, Commander, Marcus replied. I expect you to listen and decide for yourselves. He transmitted another set of data. These are the real-time locations of shroud vessels currently in council space. 17 of them. They are preparing for their next wave of attacks. The holographic display updated, showing red markers scattered throughout council territory. Each one represented a potential threat. The council's own sensors had detected none of them. This is a trick, a representative accused. You could be working with these shroud creatures. This could be an invasion. Marcus nodded as if he had expected this, a reasonable concern, which is why I am transmitting the access codes to our cloaking technology. Use your sensors now. You will detect our colonies, our monitoring stations, everything we have hidden from you. Tarveen gave the order, and council technicians began scanning with the new parameters. Within minutes, they confirmed it. There were human settlements on worlds throughout council space. There were monitoring stations at key jump points. There were even human vessels shadowing council military patrols. The implications were staggering. An entire civilization had been operating under their noses, and they had never known. Why reveal yourselves now? Tarveen asked, his voice quiet. After 40 years of secrecy, why come forward? Marcus's face grew grim. Because 3 days ago we intercepted shroud communications. They are planning a massive assault on your core worlds, not just colonies anymore. They are going after your homeworlds, your industrial centers, your population hubs. They are gathering every vessel they have for one overwhelming strike. He pulled up another display, this one showing a massive concentration of shroud vessels assembling in deep space. There were hundreds of them, far more than anyone had imagined existed. We have been fighting the shroud for 40 years, Marcus continued. We have learned their tactics, their technology, their weaknesses. We know how to hurt them, but this force is too large for us to handle alone. If we do not work together, they will destroy you. And after they finish with the council, they will come for us. The chamber erupted into arguments. Some demanded the humans leave immediately. Others wanted to hear more. Still others suggested this was all a human plot to weaken the council. Tarveen raised his hands for silence. When order was restored, he addressed Marcus directly. Ambassador Reeve, let us assume for the moment that everything you have said is true. What exactly are you proposing? An alliance, Marcus said simply. You have numbers and resources. We have experience and specialized technology. Together we can stop the shroud, but we need to act fast. According to our intelligence, they will attack within 72 hours. 72 hours? Jarrus repeated. That is barely enough time to mobilize our fleets, let alone coordinate with an unknown ally. Which is why we need to start immediately, Marcus insisted. My fleet includes tactical advisors who have fought the shroud dozens of times. Let them work with your commanders. Share intelligence. Develop a joint defense strategy. Tarveen looked around the chamber at all the worried faces. The council had always prided itself on careful deliberation, on making decisions through consensus and debate. But there was no time for that now. The council will need to vote, he said finally, but that will take time we may not have. Commander Jarrus, I am authorizing you to begin preliminary coordination with the human fleet. If they are lying, we will deal with them. But if they are telling the truth, we cannot afford to waste a single moment. Jarrus nodded and began issuing orders. Within minutes, human officers were being escorted to the council's military command center. As the chamber began to empty, Tarveen approached the communication screen where Marcus's image still waited. "Ambassador, I hope you understand the risk we are taking by trusting you." Marcus nodded gravely. "I do, Speaker, and I promise you this. Whether you trust us or not, humanity will fight the Shroud. We have been doing it for 40 years, and we will continue doing it for as long as necessary, but it would be better if we fought together." "There is something you have not told us," Tarveen observed, his three eyes studying the human carefully. "I can sense it. What are you holding back?" Marcus was quiet for a moment, then sighed. The Shroud did not just stumble into council space by accident. They came here deliberately. They are fleeing from something, Speaker, something that terrifies even them. We have been tracking them for 4 decades, watching them run from system to system. They are not conquerors. They are refugees. Refugees. Tarveen felt a chill run through him. Refugees from what? We do not know yet, Marcus admitted. But whatever it is worse than the Shroud. Much worse. And it is following them here. Before Tarveen could respond, new alarms blared throughout the station. The artificial intelligence's voice cut through the noise. Long-range sensors detecting massive energy signatures. Multiple vessels entering the system. Configuration matches Shroud attack patterns. Estimated time to weapons range, 4 hours. Marcus's image leaned forward. Speaker, they are here early. The attack has begun. We need to make a decision right now. Will you fight with us or will we face them separately? Tarveen looked at the tactical display showing the approaching Shroud armada. Hundreds of vessels all converging on council space. His entire life had been dedicated to peace, to diplomacy, to finding solutions through dialogue. But some things could not be negotiated with. We fight together, he said firmly. Ambassador Reeve, welcome to the Galactic Council. Now show us how to kill these things. Marcus smiled, and this time it reached his eyes. With pleasure, Speaker. Let me introduce you to humanity's way of war. The truth unveiled. The Council's war room had been designed for strategy and calm decision-making. Now it buzzed with frantic energy as officers from 42 different species tried to coordinate with human military advisors who had appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Holographic displays covered every wall, showing fleet positions, threat assessments, and the terrifyingly large Shroud armada approaching from deep space. General Sarah Chen stood at the center tactical table alongside Commander Jarrus. She was a compact woman with sharp eyes and gray streaking through her short black hair. Her uniform was simple and practical, marked only with the insignia of the Terran Sovereignty Defense Force. Despite being in a room full of aliens who had just learned of humanity's existence, she moved with calm confidence. The Shroud fight using overwhelming numbers and adaptive tactics, Chen explained, manipulating the holographic display to show previous battles. They learn from every engagement. If you use a tactic once, they will have a countermeasure the next time you try it. Jarrus studied the display with a warrior's focus. Then how have you survived 40 years of fighting them? By never fighting the same way twice, Chen replied. She pulled up records of human engagements with the Shroud. Each battle showed different strategies, different ship configurations, different approaches. We constantly evolve. We improvise. We take risks that their hive mind intelligence does not expect. A Plenary tactical officer raised one of her 4 arms. This seems inefficient. Military doctrine requires consistency and tested procedures. Against a normal enemy, yes, Chen agreed. But the Shroud are not normal. They are a distributed intelligence. Every ship is connected to every other ship. They share information instantly. Standard tactics become predictable, and predictable means dead. She zoomed in on one particular battle recording. It showed human vessels using bizarre maneuvers, ships flying in patterns that seemed random, weapons firing at seemingly empty space. This engagement was 3 years ago. We were outnumbered 5-1. We won by making them think we were retreating, then using their own pursuit pattern against them. How? Jarrus demanded, leaning closer. Chen smiled slightly. We led them through a debris field we had seeded with remote mines 2 weeks earlier. The Shroud can adapt to weapons they see, but they cannot adapt to weapons they do not know exist. When they followed us through, we triggered the mines. We destroyed 37 of their vessels and only lost 2 of ours. The room fell silent as everyone processed this. The human approach to warfare was nothing like what the Council practiced. It was unpredictable, creative, and ruthlessly effective. Tell us about Earth, Tarveen said. entering the war room with Ambassador Marcus at his side. "Tell us how this war began." Chen's expression darkened. She pulled up an image of a blue and green planet, beautiful and peaceful. This was Earth 43 years ago. Population 8 billion. We had just developed our first faster-than-light capable ships. We were exploring nearby systems, full of hope about joining the galactic community. The image changed, showing those same ships returning damaged and desperate. Our exploration fleet encountered the Shroud in the Kepler 4m42 system. The Shroud did not communicate. They did not warn us. They simply followed our ships home. Another image appeared, this one showing dark organic vessels descending on Earth's major cities. They attacked without declaration, without demands, without mercy. In the first week, they killed 2 billion people. They harvested our technology, studied our defenses, and prepared for complete conquest. The council representatives watched in horror as the recordings showed the devastation. Cities burning, ships falling from orbit, desperate human resistance collapsing under the Shroud's assault. We were losing. Marcus said quietly, "Every day more people died. Every defense we mounted they adapted to and overcame. We were facing extinction." "What changed?" Tarveen asked. Chen pulled up new images, these showing a different kind of battle. "Desperation changed us. When you are facing the death of your entire species, you stop following rules. You stop worrying about honor or proper procedure. You do whatever it takes to survive." The recordings showed human forces using tactics that made several council officers flinch. Ships deliberately ramming Shroud vessels. Nuclear weapons detonated at point-blank range. Experimental weapons that seemed as dangerous to the users as to the enemy. "We learned that the Shroud have one critical weakness," Chen continued. "They are risk-averse. Their distributed intelligence means they value every ship, every unit. Losing vessels damages their collective mind, so they avoid situations where losses are guaranteed." She showed a battle where human ships had formed a defensive sphere around Earth. Every vessel broadcasting the same message. They would self-destruct rather than be captured, and they would take as many Shroud ships with them as possible. "They retreated," Jerry said in amazement. "They had superior numbers but retreated." "Because we convinced them the cost was too high," Marcus explained. "We showed them that humans would rather die than surrender, that we would make every meter of space cost them dearly. That victory against us would be Pyrrhic." Chen manipulated the display again. "After they retreated from Earth, we faced a choice. We could rebuild and hide, hoping they never returned. Or we could hunt them, make sure they never threatened humanity again." "You chose to hunt," Tarveen observed. "We chose to protect," Chen corrected. "We learned that the Shroud do not stop. They move from system to system, harvesting advanced species for their technology and biological materials. If we let them go, they would attack someone else. Maybe another human colony, maybe another species entirely." She pulled up a star chart showing a trail across the galaxy. "For 40 years we have followed them. Every time they stopped to harvest a world, we found them. Every time they built a new nest ship, we destroyed it. We became their nightmare, the enemy they could not shake." A Kalesh military advisor spoke up, his silver fur bristling with concern. "But why hide from the council? We could have helped. We could have fought together from the beginning." Marcus and Chen exchanged a look. Finally, Marcus answered, "Because we did not know if we could trust you." The Shroud had infiltrated 3 civilizations before they attacked Earth. They sent scout ships disguised as traitors. They studied their targets for years before striking. We could not risk that happening again. He pulled up intelligence reports. "When we first detected the council 40 years ago, we found something disturbing. There were already Shroud scouts in your space. Not many, but enough. They were watching you, studying you, preparing." "That is impossible," Jerry said. "Our security protocols would have detected them." "Would they?" Chen asked, pulling up more data. "These are Shroud infiltrator vessels we destroyed in council space over the past 4 decades. 37 of them. Each one was disguised as a civilian transport or research vessel. Each one had false identification that would have passed your security checks. The evidence was undeniable. The council's vaunted security had been compromised for decades. We stayed hidden because we needed to track these infiltrators without alerting them," Marcus continued. "If we had revealed ourselves, the Shroud would have known their scouts were compromised. They would have accelerated their plans. We needed time to eliminate every infiltrator before they could report back." Tarveen felt the weight of this revelation. How many did you eliminate? All of them, Chen said flatly. The last one was destroyed 6 months ago. That is why the Shroud are attacking now. They lost contact with all their scouts. They know their infiltration plan failed. So now they are committing to a direct assault. The tactical display updated, showing the approaching Shroud armada in greater detail. 417 vessels organized into attack formations, all converging on Council core worlds. Their strategy is simple, Chen explained. Overwhelming force applied to multiple targets simultaneously. They will hit your 5 most important worlds at once. Your fleets cannot be everywhere. Some worlds will fall before you can respond. Then we concentrate our forces, Jarvis said. Defend the most critical locations. That is exactly what they expect, Chen countered. The moment you concentrate, they will hit your undefended colonies. They will force you to split up again, then overwhelm each group separately. So what do you suggest? Tarveen asked. Chen smiled, and it was the smile of a predator. We do not defend. We attack. The room erupted in protests. Attack? Against a force more than twice the size of the combined Council fleet? Chen raised her hand for silence. The Shroud are gathering their forces in one location before the final push. Right now, they are vulnerable. All their vessels are clustered together in the Sigma Draconis system, performing final coordination. She manipulated the display, showing the Shroud fleet in startling detail. This is the largest concentration of Shroud forces we have ever seen. If we wait for them to attack, they will divide and conquer us. But if we strike them now while they are together, we can turn their advantage into a weakness. You want to attack their entire fleet with our combined forces? Jarvis asked incredulously. That is suicide. No, Marcus corrected. It is surprise. They do not know we have formed an alliance. They do not know we have shared our anti-Shroud technology with you. They think they are facing the same Council fleet that has retreated from every previous engagement. Chen pulled up a battle plan, intricate and audacious. We have 40 human warships equipped with weapons specifically designed to fight the Shroud. You have 360 Council vessels with superior shields and defensive capabilities. Together we can execute a strategy neither of us could accomplish alone. She walked through the plan step by step. Council vessels would form the main battle line, using their strong defenses to absorb the initial Shroud response. Human vessels would operate in small hunter groups, striking at key targets and withdrawing before the Shroud could respond. Specialized human weapons would disrupt the Shroud's neural network, preventing them from coordinating effectively. The key is their nest ships, Chen explained, highlighting 3 massive vessels at the center of the Shroud formation. These are their command nodes. Destroy them, and the rest of the fleet becomes disorganized, unable to coordinate complex maneuvers. How do we destroy them? A plenary officer asked. Our weapons barely scratch their hulls. Chen pulled up schematics of a weapon system the Council had never seen. This is a resonance disruptor. It does not rely on kinetic or energy damage. It creates a harmonic frequency that destabilizes the organic components of Shroud vessels. We have been developing and refining this technology for 40 years. She showed recordings of the weapon in action, Shroud ships literally tearing themselves apart as their organic hulls resonated to destruction. We have equipped all human vessels with these weapons, Marcus added, and we are prepared to share the technology with Council forces. But there is not enough time to retrofit all your ships. So we need to work together. Council vessels protect our hunter groups. Our hunter groups eliminate the nest ships. Once the command structure falls, we can mop up the remaining Shroud forces. Tarveen studied the plan carefully. It was risky, aggressive, and completely contrary to Council military doctrine. It was also brilliant. How long do we have to prepare? He asked. Chen checked her tactical display. The Shroud will begin their attack run in 90 minutes. We need to launch our assault in 1 hour if we want to catch them before they disperse. 1 hour. To coordinate 42 different species and an unknown human fleet. To implement an entirely new battle strategy. To bet everything on one desperate gamble. Jarvis looked at Tarveen. The speaker looked at Marcus and Chen. Everyone in the room understood the stakes. Very well, Tarveen said finally. We will do this. Commander Jarvis, begin fleet coordination immediately. General Chen. I am placing Council forces under joint command with your fleet. May the stars guide us all. The war room exploded into activity as orders were transmitted to every Council vessel in range. Human tactical officers began working directly with Council commanders, sharing weapon specifications and coordinating attack patterns. Marcus approached Tarveen privately. Speaker, there is something else you should know. The Shroud are not just fleeing from Earth. They are fleeing from something beyond our borders, something we have been tracking but have not yet encountered. The threat you mentioned before, Tarveen said. Marcus nodded. We call them the Silence. We know almost nothing about them except that they leave entire regions of space empty. Sterile. No life, no technology, nothing. Just cold dead worlds. The Shroud are terrified of them. Tarveen felt ice in his heart. And they are coming here? Eventually, Marcus confirmed. Maybe in years, maybe in decades. But yes, they are coming. That is the real reason we revealed ourselves. When the Silence arrive, we will need every ally we can find. The Shroud are dangerous, but they are nothing compared to what is following them. Before Tarveen could respond, Chen's voice cut through the room. All vessels report ready. Human and Council fleets are in formation. We are go for assault in 5 minutes. Tarveen looked out the observation window at the assembled fleet. Human warships, sleek and dark, moved in formation with Council vessels of every shape and size. Two civilizations that had not known about each other yesterday, now preparing to fight together. Launch the assault, he commanded. The combined fleet surged forward, tearing through space toward the Shroud Armada, 400 human and Council vessels against 417 Shroud ships. The largest space battle in recorded history was about to begin. As the fleets closed to weapons range, Chen turned to Jairus. Commander, welcome to humanity's way of war. Hold on tight. The first shots lit up the darkness of space and the Battle of Sigma Draconis began.